Where the hoes at?
How was your first day of being off work?
It starts right now, actually.
Oh, it starts right now. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
because I slept for a little bit, but I had to go to my daughter's school, and so I was like, oh, I found the hat. I was like, let me rock the Santa hat today. It was a hit. But yeah,
Does she have school or is she off now?
she's in daycare, so it's more
right.
like a pre-K. She's not even in pre-K, but it's great. So I went to go pick her up, and I decided to rock the hat. I had totally forgot that I had it on when I was driving around today. And I was wondering why everyone would seem like they were trying to like pull up next to me. The whole thing. You ever get that when you're driving? People just trying to pull up next to you. I was like, what is the people's deal? And I looked in the mirror. I was like, holy shit. Market crash. Is that what the topic is today?
So KRIS might not be here today. His wife just texted me. This guy's like sleeping. He's tired as shit. So he's probably not gonna be here today. But so we'll have a lot of fun stuff. Do some Tesla stuff, some crypto stuff. I don't even. VITALY hasn't even seen the link, so I don't know if VITALY's coming either.
Oh,
I mean, just be you and me.
That's kind of cool.
That is fun.
There is an interesting dynamic. Like when we had that walk, when we went to Starbucks.
Dude, that was great.
No, we just had it was windy as shit. Remember that? Like, so Amit, tell me about your life. He's like, it sucks. I'm 26. Not sure my direction in life.
Fucking favorite. You text KRIS's wife. No, she just texted me through his phone because this guy's so tired.
Damn, look at these guys.
Look at these guys. What's up, Brody? What do you do all day since you're not going to work for like another month? So like, what do you do at home?
It's a good question. I'm gonna think about that.
Did you just jerk off all day?
That only takes 5 minutes. Come on. I don't know what you're... There's plenty of time. That's between the hours of 6:30 and 6:35 in the morning.
Damn. Sometimes twice.
You got to get started real early, and then go get shit done.
Twice is crazy. Like when I was 16, maybe I could do it twice, but twice is like.
I knew a guy. I won't mention any names, but I knew a guy, and I think he had a problem because he was like, "Bro, I'm doing 4 times a day." I was like, 4 times a day.
I read the same article, dude. I read a guy who did it 12 times a day, and he was in a bad. Dude, he was in an addiction.
I mean, we used to say that you would go blind.
Yeah, right, yeah.
But I would even say that, guys. Like, I don't know how you even have the energy. Like, I mean, how do you reload the gun that fast?
You see, I'm glad I led you guys down this rabbit hole.
TJ, I see you're in the chat. KRIS is not making it tonight, so if you want to be the fourth junkie tonight, we'll talk about Enphase, what you're doing there. I know VITALY would love to hear what's going on there. So if you want to join, hop on.
Join us. We're going to talk more about jerking off. So what's the technique? Is it
hand over hand?
You gotta wheel the deal.
Do you like the 2 fingers?
Okay.
How do you deal the wheel?
No, but seriously, are you just like chilling all day, spending time with your kids? And
we just watched actually my kids playing basketball. So
wow.
So we just came from the game.
What position is he? Point guard, power forward? You don't care?
I think it matters when you're like 10 years old.
It does matter. It kind of matters.
I know they're doing something, but I'm the wrong person to ask about that.
I actually love basketball. People don't know I'm a basketball junkie, even though I don't keep up with it anymore. But I played high school basketball. I loved it. So
I tried so hard to get into basketball, I just never ever could. The only one I could really get into was football.
I think everybody was into basketball when the Bulls were winning, like the 3-peat and all that. So that was back in the day.
Yeah, that was my sister. My sister loved Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen. She painted the room like red and black. Had the comforter, it was that was an awesome time to be a basketball fan.
First of all, I'm 5'7", and I look, I was not good in organized basketball on like in the high school, but on my local park, I dropped 30 every game. I mean, I was
he's like, yo, against the 13-year-olds, they couldn't.
No, dude. I played, dude. The people at my park, I lived in a different neighborhood. I didn't live in like the suburbs with all these fucking rabbits. I lived in a different neighborhood. Those people were failed NBA players, so they took the park seriously. Like I'm talking about 6-foot guys. Like they really, that park was their like fantasy to live out. And I fit in because I was good on the park. But when it came to a real organized game with referees, I was trash.
I don't know how it is anymore, but back in the day, if you go to West 4th Street in Manhattan and you watch like the full court games that they play there, sick players, man.
Okay, let's do a quick little market crash update. Then we'll go on to some fun stuff. Enphase.
What crashed today? What crashed today? I haven't even checked.
We had a huge crash, dude.
Let me see.
The market
Let me see.
crashed.
Let me see. You're gonna get a real time. You're gonna
It's
get
not a crash. It's so ridiculous. I know you guys gotta have content on Twitter all day long, but come on.
What are you talking about? Bitcoin's 43. Tesla's 247.
No,
Okay, but the S&P is not at 470 anymore.
It went down 1%.
Jesus Christ, dude. I mean, serious. There's 500 fucking companies.
But that was.
Well, I'm going to tell you. Listen,
You're like the average of 500 companies went down 1%. Is it time to sell? Is it time to sell? Finance junkies at 6 o'clock.
Time to sell, guys. Chris was right. It's all going down. Oil.
Well, in general, for those that are wondering what happened, apparently there were like 1 million 0-day options, which I just learned about today. What those things are at 475 on the S&P, they all got sold off, and that just destroyed the volatility on the underlying asset, which is the S&P. That affects the whole market. So Tom Lee was on CNBC. He said this was just a profit-taking rally, which makes sense, dude. We
were at extreme greed. Okay,
yes.
We were at it. Why do you need excuses for anything? You're at extreme.
No, it's not an excuse. It's a justification.
No, but I'm saying Wall Street doesn't give a shit about your. Hold on. Wall Street doesn't care about your narrative of Palantir going 20x. At extreme greed, Wall Street is like, yeah, let's fucking dump on these assholes. That's it.
Bring up Mario's comment. We crashed to levels not seen.
Look, I'm just saying, we are presenters of information. People want to know. We're presenting what they're doing it in a humorous way. It is funny, right? That levels of 2 days ago. But I agree. This was really healthy. I think this was very healthy today to see this happen.
Well, you can present the news, but let's not.
Now I'll change my mind if we crash for the next 4 days.
We're trying to be a news organization here, not TMZ.
That's true. That's true. I mean, at the end of the day, obviously it's not a market crash, but it was it was a little bit of a sell-off, and yeah, I think the market needed a breather, and so we got a little bit of a breather.
Honestly, I'm looking to still pick up certain positions, so I don't see these things as bad at all. And I said, like in bull markets, if we are in one, you don't get many opportunities. So if we do have our 5% pullback now, or in January, or whatever, or it's 7%. I don't doesn't matter, honestly. It's just an opportunity to continue buying.
Wait, what's today's date? Today is the 20th. How many calendar Fridays are left?
I think 2, right? Yeah, 22nd, 29th.
I just want to see. All right. So we got one more week for. Let's look at the options chain for the 29th.
For what? For S&P?
Just in general, yes. Look at the option chain. Look at the open interest. That gives you an idea of just how much pressure there's going to be on for a sell-off or a rally next Friday. Because I mean, look, guys, Christmas is in 1, 2, 3, 5 days. That's crazy. Christmas.
Well, all
dude,
days.
Okay, let's talk about that real quick. Vitaly, did you get gifts for your kids yet, or no?
Yes, all except one. But I got
do you wrap them?
All except one kid.
You mean all except one of his kids, not one present.
Do you wrap them, or does your wife wrap them? Like, do you get into that Christmas spirit and you enjoy that process, or you just
we're going to celebrate in Michigan Christmas. So basically, there's going to be a bunch of gifts for them over there wrapped. But in terms of me, what me and my wife bought, we got our youngest basically a basketball hoop. So I have to actually build it when we come back from vacation. I'm going to build it, and the other one's still trying to decide what he wants. So,
okay, very cool. We got a special guest with us, ladies and gentlemen, filling in for the other junkie who's a little sleepy today, Mr. TJ the Wheel Deal. How are you, sir?
TJ, you're alive. Thank goodness, man.
Yeah, dude, you feeling better?
What's up, guys? How are you guys?
How you feeling?
How are you?
I'm good. Sorry, man. I was eating a taco, and y'all know anything about a Mexican Coke?
Oh, yes, we do.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we do. It's that Mexican blow, baby.
I think there was cocaine in this back in the day before.
Yeah.
More healthy.
And now they're one of the few that use a cane sugar, and there's something about the cane sugar in that bottle that tastes so different.
Bro, if I'm gonna get diabetes, this is the way to do it. You know what I mean?
Best delivery system.
Like get the picture.
Show.
So
okay, so let me go ahead, Carlos.
No, I just want to ask how long have you been out of the hospital?
We got out right before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Right before Thanksgiving, and it's been an uphill battle, man. I got to thank my wife, right? I got to give her kudos because I'm really stubborn. I come from a family where your arm isn't falling off. Shut the hell up. We're not going to the doctor. We don't have that kind of money.
Your mother was like, manufacture the win.
Baby emergencies for real emergencies. Like, don't cry wolf. Don't be the boy that cried wolf, essentially. I grew up on a ranch. It was 30 miles to town. So we weren't going to play that game. And dude, shit just got out of control. And I was watching a football game and I was like, I don't want to go to the doctor. Like, leave me alone. I started cursing at my wife all crazy, bro. And then when I got to the ER or a clinic, it was like one of those medical clinic deals. They were like, well, we got some news. You got an abscess, but you also developed sepsis because, essentially you just waited too long. And it just started escalating, bro. And then my body went septic, and then I developed a MRSA, which is a staph infection, and it was just like snowballing like a covered call out of control, bro.
Yeah.
there was no stopping Enphase on this run. You know what I mean?
Well,
and I was
they were real. The puts on you were flying.
How long were you in the hospital? How many days?
7 or 8 days. Yeah.
Damn.
But we're here, man. We're
after
here,
I get out,
trying to get momentum going again, dude. I feel like I lost half of my little audience, but it's all good. We're getting back to things.
Yeah, I think this is on TJ's channel as well. I'm gonna put his channel in the description for those that want to get his updates on the market. TJ, I want to set up a scenario that has happened to you over the past month, and then if you want to bring up any Excel sheets or whatever, just give us the TLDR, and then we'll get into it. Enphase, these two junkies got you into it. Okay, these two junkies were talking bullish.
Hey, don't blame me.
You're like, let me look into it.
They mentioned it, but I pushed all my buttons, bro.
I agree. You made the decision.
TJ actually has pushed
these guys, just like I introduced you to Palantir, these guys introduced you to Enphase, and you got bullish. You're like, you know what? I think it makes sense. You did a lot of due diligence, and then you put a lot of money into it.
That's why we're all down.
Yeah, we were at Vegas, you and me together, and Carlos, and stock drops to 70 the day we get into Vegas.
Right.
You're down multiple 6 figures, and it's tough. And then out of nowhere, it's up like 60-70% in the past 3 weeks, and now you're up 6 figures. So can you give us?
Yeah, what is your new adjusted cost basis?
Yeah, so here's what I want. I want the raw numbers. I want the covered calls, puts. Give us all the, because you're super transparent. Give us all the.
And did you lose all your shares because you did covered calls at 70?
Yeah, give us your details on the Enphase position right now.
Yeah, I
saw that episode.
I'm pulling up the YouTube portfolio. This is the one that the wife is more comfortable with, because it's the one we started everything with.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pulling that up for you guys. Full transparency. Once I can figure out how to get my shit together here. Here we go. So it's there if you want to share it, Amit. Okay, so that is Enphase Energy, ticker symbol ENPH, and I will show the actual Robinhood account that belongs to my wife, because let's face it, I don't have any money. It all belongs to her because we're married, right? That's how it works. When you sign your life away into that, it's a beautiful thing, because she's way prettier than I punched above my weight class. You guys, half of you guys have met my wife.
That's why I hide Bitcoin in separate accounts.
I thought you could say that's why I had my wife.
So anyway, here on Kristen's account, we have 1,000 shares of Enphase. Thanks, baby doll. And we bought them at 132.63, and I'll show you all the actual Robinhood to essentially validate all this information. That way, y'all know that
you don't have to.
The spreadsheets are real.
You bought them at an average.
We bought them at average cost of 132, and we were underwater, bro. I think Enphase went to like $70-$75, something crazy. I stopped looking. I stopped looking when it was real bad, because that's just real bad for you psychologically, right?
Real quick, hold on before you continue. How are you feeling? Like, give me the raw truth. When it got to 70, were you like, how did you feel when that happened?
So first of all, I've been wrong before. So this isn't my first rodeo. On Enphase, I actually legit did homework, dude. I've been following this company since it was trading north of $250. And I was like, well, it's real rich. It's priced to perfection. Solar's not going to penetrate, because I was a real big bear. Kind of still am on the larger scheme of things with solar, because I feel like there's a lack of education, a lack of awareness that hasn't yet happened. Like when VITALY talks about all the math, and I'm like, dude, the average American ain't going to understand that shit. It isn't going to math. Like, the math isn't going to compute for them. So I feel like the sell cycle is too long. So I was extremely bearish on the industry as a whole, because that's what ignorance is, right? When you don't do any homework, you don't know, then you don't know what you don't know. But anyway, I had decided, I predetermined that anything south of 150 was a go for me. If I can get it in the 130s, I'm crushing the game, because I don't need to find the bottom. I just want to be in the vicinity of the bottom. Well, I didn't realize the fucking house had a basement. You know what I mean? So this was one of those East Coast houses, right? Y'all have basements over there. Are these tornado magnet cities that have basements? I was like,
we're in the bunker. Yeah, you went down to the bunker.
So this thing goes to $80 or whatever. And this is all happening in Vegas, dude. We got put 12,000 shares. I'm showing y'all 1,000 here. And
wait, you own a 12,000 shares? That's what you're saying?
Yeah, 12,000 is what we have total.
No, no. You don't own 12,000 shares. You have puts that you sold.
No. We own. We're the proud owners of 12,000 overpriced shares, apparently, according to Mr. Market, at an average cost of collectively about 135.
Wait, so hold on. So that means when it got to 70, you were down from 130 to 70 on 12,000 shares.
Yeah, it was about 770 grand. Not that anybody's counting.
So how much were you down? How much were you down at $70? The number.
What's up?
How much were you actually down?
$700,000.
Well, about 700 and some change.
Oh, you were down.
Well, hold on. You weren't. If you have a 130 average and it drops to, you're down half. So you're saying they were worth $1.5 million? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I have the other spreadsheet that I'll show it all.
So you bought it for $1.5 million. It's down to 70. You're at 700,000.
Bear with me.
So 130 times 12,000 is.
We don't have to guess, dude. This thing does all the math.
1.5. Yeah.
So my question is,
unfortunately, this thing keeps you honest because it shows you everything, right? So there's 11,000 shares at 139 cost basis. The adjusted cost basis now is 120. So I'm officially in the black. Now over here, this is a scoreboard. You have the cost basis of 1.537. So the stock P&L right now is negative 129,000 if the current share price is the same, because I don't know when this thing updates, right? So is Enphase legitimately at 128 right now? I don't know, because I stopped following the market at 2 p.m. today.
I'll tell you right now.
So
I have a question. Wait, before you continue, I have a question. So when it's at 135, you're holding the 12,000 shares, you immediately start selling options against them.
No, bro. I did this one totally against the grain, and it's certainly not following.
You didn't wheel deal it?
It's not. No.
28, by the way.
What I'm saying is I have some hard, fast rules for selling cash secured puts and covered calls. And one of the golden rules on covered calls is don't sell below your cost basis. But I was so negative on these shares that I got to bring some freaking premiums for the door. I have all of these. I bought this whole apartment community. I only signed up for a wing, and now I got the whole thing. Right? So I'm like, I need to put some tenants in there, and the rents, just pay me whatever you'll pay me, because I'm gonna rely on my ability to roll.
Wait, but hold on, TJ. You didn't get the 12,000 just by buying them. You sold cash secured puts to get the 12,000 shares.
It shows you here. This thing shows you everything, so I don't have to guess, right? So over here on the stock info, here we go. So it tells you how it all happened. Can you guys see that right there?
Yeah. We see it.
So on 7/27, I was a freaking eager beaver. Bought 500 shares outright. Owned Volition, $141. I'm in the game because I can sell cash secured puts and roll, and that's all cool. I just feel like you're not really in a stock until you own a share. I don't care if it's just one. You got to own this share to really start following this thing. That's just me. And then on 8/1, bought another 500. On 8/7, bought another 500. On 8/14, bought another 500, and I kept going and going and going. And then Vegas happened. We were in Vegas in what, October?
October 27th. Yeah, 27th.
Huh?
End of
October
October,
27th.
like right around Halloween.
Right. So then, boom, you'll see 1,700. Those were assigned. You see that cool number right there? There was another 800. Those were assigned. Those were assigned. Those were assigned.
Now hold on a minute.
So,
those were assigned because you had put
because I had sold cash secured puts. All right here.
Well, you sold short ones because I have not been assigned anything. And I am at 2020.
Well, yeah, but he has to sell short ones to get the premium, Vitaly.
These were for one.
No, you get paid a premium even if you sell leads.
But it's not as juicy as a premium.
These were for 119.24, and I got assigned early on a bunch of them. A bunch of them. At 150, this is when Enphase was probably like at what, sub $80 or $90 when we were in Vegas. I know it tanked when we were in Vegas.
It was at 70 at Vegas, about 74.
I guess they pulled the trigger only a couple of months earlier in your case.
Right. So yeah, but I mean that's that's par for the course because it's so good for the person on the other side. And here's the thing: when you sell cash secured puts or covered calls, guys, make no mistake about it, you don't control the actions of the counterparty. It's like going all in pre-flop poker. Yeah, pocket aces. You're feeling really good. If it's heads up, you're gonna have an 86% probability of winning that hand, regardless of what they're holding. But you don't control what they do with their chips or their money. Right? You don't control. So the counterparty said, hey, I'm winning this trade. I'm going to go ahead and put these shares on you to lock in the win, and I will surrender some of the theta decay. Because what we have as option sellers is theoretically time on our side. Well, the other party said, hey, you know what? This thing's so good for me. Here's your time back. And then they kind of did me a solid because now I got these shares put on me that I was underwater. And I was like, cool, now I can sell covered calls and bring in more premium to escalate the process for me, to accelerate the process of trying to get out of the hole. So now what I did, if you look closely, it's a game that I don't recommend. This is one of those things, do as I say, not as I do, kind of like what parents con us as kids, right? So you guys will see on 11/1, I started, or 10/30, I started selling calls because this is around the time that we got back from Vegas. And I started selling calls at 95 strikes, guys, 92 strikes, 95 strikes.
And
then
what was, wait, what was the share price when you were selling these? $70?
Yeah, like 70, 75 bucks. We can just Google it because I did it on, or, you know, go to the Yahoo, because this was on 11/1, 10/31, 11/2. I'm selling calls at 95, 92, 95. Then I sold more puts, 10 of them at 70. Sold calls at
11/1, it was at $77.
So the one problem I see, just to bring it up, you didn't dollar cost average in.
Correct, because I didn't think that Enphase was going, and again, this is just what it's thinking, right? I didn't think Enphase was going to do me that dirty from the standpoint of I wouldn't have an opportunity to roll out and could take control of the position. In other words, the position got out of control, so I took my medication because the number one rule is don't sell puts on a stock that you're not willing to own. Because at some point, inevitably, you're going to get caught with your hand in the cookie jar. I got caught with both hands, right? Like real deep in the bag of fries. I got caught. So I'm like, okay, cool. Now I'm really going to know how I feel about Enphase. And the cool thing is I was able to maintain my temperament, dude. Like, I mean, I was a little annoyed with myself because I felt like maybe I was too aggressive with the cash secured puts because the getting was good. Let's talk about the good stuff. The premiums are really juicy. We're talking about a company that makes millions of dollars. We're not talking about fucking IDEX or my beloved SOFI that doesn't make any fucking money yet. I'm talking about a bottom line number, not adjusted EBITDA, which bullshit, according to Charlie Munger. We're talking about a company that's legit got profitable, making a lot of money. So it feels different whenever you get put shares on a company that knows how to make money. But then there was legitimate problems with the industry, right? The interest rates are rising. Enphase may be over manufactured. They had some contractors that are like, hey, you know, maybe we don't need so much of this shit. So they had to retool the kit, right? Like Enphase was like, hey, we got to regroup and we're just going to go ahead and throw you out with this bad news. Hey, oh, by the way, this will be fun, TJ, the wheel deal. We're going to lower our guidance a lot. And we're going to come at you with $300 million. And then who knows what the next guidance is going to be. So when it started, so that was the reasoning for me willing to sell covered calls below what I actually got assigned, because I felt like all the headwinds were there, bro. Like we were swimming upstream. We're not going with the current here like the salmon. So I was like, I'm going to take a chance, a calculated gamble, and sell covered calls below my cost basis, knowing that if it starts pushing up, I'll welcome that problem because then I'll just roll the calls out and up. And once I get over 130, 140, I'm on easy street. Right now, the way that it stands, I have 110 contracts for June at 150 strike. So at this point forward, if Enphase goes to the moon and I choose not to deal with those contracts anymore, I made a pretty substantial profit. Because my whole thing is this was a stock, and it's not revenge trading, it's just business. This fucker cost me pain, he's going to cause me gain now. That's the reality. Like that bitch owes me, and I'm going to collect like the IRS. You know what I mean? So I'm going to get cash secured put money. I'm going to get covered call money. I'm going to roll this bitch right like a fired man. I'm going to stop, drop, and roll. I'm going to do whatever I got to do to manufacture the win.
That's what I tell my wife. I'm gonna
that's when she makes it on the couch. That's what happens.
I'm excited because I got caught with a company that legitimately makes money. So there's something to be said about trying to wheel a real company versus one of these zombie meme stocks. And that was my saving grace on this one, is that Enphase, at the end of the day, bro, people can talk all the shit they want. The resident bear, KRIS Patel, anybody. The one thing they cannot deny Enphase is they've been growing a mile a minute, and
he's not a bear anymore.
They have no, but what I'm saying is they have a bottom line. The bottom line is they have a bottom line. It's legitimate and it's growing, not as fast as it used to, but it's still growing.
TJ, real quick, first of all, thank you 400 people for being here. We're talking to the man who lost 700,000 on Enphase and got it back.
No. I was down.
I know.
We were down. We didn't lose shit. I lost on the roulette table. You were there.
Let me lie.
Actually, well, there's two things. One, he was down and he hadn't lost. That's an important point.
I know. I didn't mean to say.
Now, hold on.
You guys know what
hold on. Waiting sometimes is the best medication because he's almost break even at this point.
But I want to bring something up here because look, at the time that you bought that, right? So you were buying. This is June, July. When did you say you were in August? Okay. At the time that you were buying that level, we all thought that like 116, 113 was like the bottom. Because if you look at the price,
yep, I remember that.
The price at the bottom was $70.
Right.
The last time it was at that price, guys, was
2021.
September 2020. And when it hit that price, it shot off. It bounced off. It just flew off of that number, and it never retested that again. As a matter of fact, when it did finally pull back, it pulled back to the $121 level. So I remember we were all posting that 116, 113, somewhere in the 110s would be the bottom. You also saw, look how much support there was. When it did bounce, it bounced off 114, ran up again, bounced again, almost tested it again. So by the time we were up here and we were coming back down, we all felt like this was the bottom. So this is why what you're saying, TJ, this is why you thought you were on the first floor in the basement, and then you see that basically the bottom came out of it. That's the power of
Bro, it felt like you got lucky in college and you took the girl home. You were dancing and the disco lights and everything was hitting hard, and then you get to your dorm room or your apartment and the lights come on and you're like, holy shit!
It's a man.
Get out of here.
Share it again real quick, because Jesse talks a lot about gaps. You have some massive gaps here that do need to be filled. If we are. You got a gap here at 99 to 115. You got another gap there as it shot up, and then you got these down here.
Let me ask you this question, TJ. Let's say Powell didn't do the pivot and Enphase was still stuck at like $90, 95.
He'd still be in the hospital right now.
No.
How would you be still manufacturing the win? Because you're almost break even now. What would you be doing if Enphase was?
So if we can go back to the tracker, here's the scoreboard on the right here. Y'all see where the cursor is or no? I can make it a little bit bigger maybe.
Yeah, if you want to, there you go. Perfect. Yep.
Is that cool? So here's the scoreboard, guys. This is how you read the scoreboard, because a lot of people are playing the game and they don't even know how to read the score. You follow me? So
wait, hold on, TJ. Where do you get these analogies from? Because you're throwing them left and right. Like, how is that so natural?
Well, I've owned several businesses, and a lot of my employees over the years have called me TJ Cliche. So it's just like I have like zinker one-liners that just come out, dude. I read the Bible a lot, man. So it's a lot of fables and analogies and stuff. So I think that's how my brain thinks now, because everything's like some sort of an analogy. And I don't mean to speak metaphorically, but it's very relatable to a lot of people, because I feel like you got to find a way to relate to the average person who doesn't do this for a living like we do.
Right.
Or specifically like I do. I do this full time. I know y'all do this part time, but y'all have full time results. So you can do something part time, guys, and get full time results. You just got to do it well, right? So anyway, I got these put on me, a combination of buying outright and assignment via cash secured puts for 1.53. So right now we're down 130 on the actual shares, but we've generated in covered calls 88,000 and in put premium 121 for a wheel profit of 210,000. So you take that 210,000, subtract the 129 forward, and we're already up six figures in this position almost.
Wow.
So that's manufacturing the win, baby.
So it looks like you're up, but honestly, the fact that what disappoints me is that at $70, I know you're trying to get out of a hole basically. You're in the hospital too, so I'm not gonna knock that, but at $70, it was like a no-brainer to basically dollar cost average something in. And
I bought
hold on.
I bought some.
Hold on. Okay, so that's good. So my point being that maybe now, if you are over leveraged or you have too many shares of this company that maybe you don't want to hold 12,000 shares. I'm sorry, 12,000. Maybe you don't need that, and you've manufactured the win. Why don't you just get rid of half of it and not deal with worrying about it?
So I'm not willing to do that until I realize all of the cover call premium, because earlier I said that I rolled to June at $150 strike because I got caught with my hand in the cookie jars with this recent run up. So I'm not.
You have to wait.
I have to realize, but right now I did buy it kind of at the bottom. It's just, guys, I mean, at some point you run out of money. I'm not the Fed. I can't just print money, right?
That's true too.
I did buy 500 shares outright at $80.75. So I don't think that was the bottom. I've never bought the bottom intentionally.
That's pretty close
on anything, but I was like, dude, I got to take one fucking last swing at this thing. You know what I mean? Because whenever you buy more shares at the bottom of your DCAing, the way Vitaly's talking, guys, it makes your break even come down so that if you want to offload a position that maybe got severely overweight, you can rebalance the boat. And I don't have to wait for 150. I can get it done at 120, 125, 130. And that way, because right now the portfolio is extremely lopsided, guys. Like it is.
We were talking about that yesterday. Is that could be behind some of what the retail investors are doing now.
Right. So I'll show you guys something that I never show. So
you're an exclusive. Okay.
Bear with me.
Get ready for some nudes, guys.
These are the books. so this is the shit I'm dealing with, and I gotta.
Before you go there, I just want to correct me if I'm wrong too. Another reason why you're not selling is because of a certain conviction that you have that not only will, that it's not going to get back to 150, 160. You're talking about it could eventually, in a reasonable time frame, revisit its previous all-time highs, or at least break into the 200, 300s again.
So my initial goal was to accumulate 5,000 shares of Enphase. I more than doubled that. So eventually I want to get back to 5. Maybe if the conviction gets a little bit higher, there's going to be more information coming our way, right? This is an information game. So here in a month or two, we're going to have earnings again. More important than the earnings, because we already know those are going to suck, is going to be the forward guidance, right? Like, are they filling in the holes? Are they putting out the fires that they're dealing with as a company?
So are you setting up a strategy for what happens if you do get an, or what are you doing to prepare for earnings? Because if you feel that we're going to have shitty earnings and we could possibly have shitty guidance, what is your strategy going into that? How are you positioning this?
My strategy, if it tanks, bro, I'm going to load the boat with another 3,000 or 4,000 shares because I got to. Because the investment thesis over the next 5, y'all got to understand, here's the thing, and I don't know if y'all have ever said it on this channel or not. You could be totally long-term, gung-ho, bullish, tattoo on your ass type bullish on a company like SOFI, Palantir, Enphase, Tesla, pick a company, doesn't matter. But you can also be a realist short-term and be like, hey, this shit's going to tank a little bit, but as long as the investment thesis, the overall investment thesis is okay, the war is still being fought, and I think we're going to win. I'm going to get my ass kicked on this battle, but I'm going to position myself over here to win the next one so that I can eventually win the war. So in other words, I'm willing to get my ass kicked short term to come out smelling like a rose long term.
Well, I want to point out that when it dropped to 70, 80, I wasn't buying hand over fist too, like you're saying. At some point, you don't have that much money sitting around, right, and you got to know where you're going to deploy it. But I was not worried. There's not a part of me that was like, oh no, Enphase is at 70. It's going to $20. These bears are correct and I'm wrong. No, because I know the facts of the company. So yes, we can take a hit for a year or two. Absolutely, we can be in the shitter. But I was just thinking of it like you were, sort of. I get to DCA for a lot longer. And I was actually upset it ran up so fast.
And truth be told, Vitaly, I thought we were going to have longer. Like this run up is a little bit premature in my opinion. I'm a little annoyed that my covered calls are underwater, bro, because they were printing. And I'm going to tell y'all a story that is funny. I actually did a video on it. So y'all can go source me or whatever. I was up 98% on a covered call on Enphase, and I had to squeeze out another $220. This was like a $15,000 premium. I was at the oncology center, at the cancer center with my mom. So I'm over there with my mom, and I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to leave it alone. Came home, still up like 96%. This was on a Friday. This was on an expiration Friday. I want to say it might have been last week or the week before, because it's when Enphase like really just shot up. This was like, it was like in the $100 range, bro. Like just look at the chart. You know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. I went to sleep, bro. I woke up and I was down 200% on that position. And I go, that is one of the most expensive naps I've ever taken in my life.
Wait, so you were down 30K on that or something?
Now I got to roll this shit or all of these shares are going to get called away.
Because it just shot up. Yeah, it went straight up.
And dude, and this is all like on an expiration Friday. I'm not kidding you. Like y'all are chart people. Y'all can look at the charts. I'm not lying, dude. Like this shit went from like, I don't know if it was like 100 to like 110 or 112, like right away. And it was just insane. So I had to start rolling up and out. And now I got stuck at 150 for June. And I'll show you all the actual positions here. This is my the master plan, if you will. But the reason that I'm going to have to offload some of these shares, guys, if you look at Enphase right here, it just comes down to the the weight in the portfolio. You know, you'll see Amazon's only 155K. This guy's 1.5. Google's only 126. Pfizer's 143. PayPal is 288. This is the money's invested. Here you have the current market value next to it. Riot
and Enphase is half of the portfolio, literally.
Exactly.
Yeah, or almost.
So that's a problem. As much as I believe, dude, it's a problem. You know what I mean? It's a problem, and then this shows you everything. So I mean,
I'm only at like 23%, so you're more than me and Enphase.
What would you? Where would you deploy that? Where would you deploy that capital?
The intention, guys, the intention was to only own 5,000 shares, but I got caught with my hand in the cookie jar. And these are all the open positions that are tied to those shares, right? So you have the Amazon covered call that's if it's red, that means it's underwater. If it's red in a cash secured put, that means that it's underwater, in the money, if you will, right? I call it, I need the scuba gear, I'm underwater, let's go snorkeling, right? So that's where we're at right now. So I'm babysitting that Enphase covered call right now because it's at 150 and it's for, I'm sorry, I misspoke. It's for May, not June. But, you know, they did pay me a cool $60,000 to endure the pain. You follow me? So it's kind of
so
like,
you have to wait till May to realize the covered call premium.
yeah, but what I want to do, like, then I'm very, very clear because it caused me pain. So I'm going to realize the gain. So my target to get to slash the position in half is 175 right now. If things change, I may increase that to 200, and because at that point the weight would just be ridiculous. You know,
Right.
it's like
Here's
Titanic is the iceberg.
I have a question about the weight of the portfolio. So you're saying, okay, it's over 50% or almost 50% of the portfolio
right now.
Is the decision to trim the position because of opportunity cost somewhere else? Are you looking at the market saying, okay,
no, it's strictly just the drawdown that can happen on a position that big.
So where would you? Where would you?
I want to go hide the money right now.
Where would you put that capital right now?
Right,
about 700 grand or whatever.
Depends on the prices of the other stocks in the portfolio. We can go back to the sheet. I can show you. What I have in mind. I don't know if Amit's able to do that, if he's watching.
Sorry. No, I was texting Steve. He was like, Steve was like, can you retweet this tweet for me? I was like, sure. I go on the tweet. The tweet is, what movie is better, Braveheart or Harry Potter?
Braveheart.
I'm like, I don't know why you want me to retweet this tweet, but okay, Steve, whatever.
Braveheart. So
it's clearly Braveheart.
The
old.
I've never seen Braveheart, by the way. I don't know what that is, but I've seen Harry Potter.
So the positions that I'm looking to add to, guys, if I can get a reasonable price, are Magnificent Seven ones, right? Like I'm looking to add to Amazon, I'm looking to add to Google, and I feel like I'm severely underweight Tesla, even though it says
how many Tesla shares do you have?
2,000 in this one.
Okay, I have 5.
I would like to be that. I would like that one to be. I would be more comfortable with that.
You have 5,000 shares.
I have 5,000. Yeah, so I'm doing my thing.
So I would like to redistribute the funds there, and then I'm one of those suckers that I think that PayPal is undervalued, and I've been building this position, and we're up a little bit on it right now, which is exciting. And I wouldn't mind doubling that position and hiding some of the monies there. I hate big pharma, bro, but I've done so much homework on this company, Pfizer. I've been buying Pfizer. I don't see a way. This is what scares me, dude, because I get these stupid ideas in my head. I don't see a way to lose money when they get to certain prices and valuations. I mean, this thing's trading at like 2,000 levels or something ridiculous, dude. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, dude, I know that these companies are bigger drug dealers than Pablo Escobar ever was, and I get all of the stuff, but they also do some good. You know, there's some drugs that it allows people to function and have much better lives for a lot longer than they otherwise would. But to me, it's just a money play. It's a trade, and I wouldn't mind hiding another 5,000 shares there. And if I can get 25-30% over it, and plus collect the dividend, which is a nice change for the portfolio, because I think they give you like 5 or 6% a year, or something like that's not bad. I want to hide out there, and then I want to be heavy in cash, guys, because what goes up tends to come down. And right here, if you look at this position right here, money on the sidelines, highlighted
1.1 million in cash,
and then you see the open puts collateral of 1.6. So essentially, you're talking about 2.7. That's effectively cash, because if you go over here and if you look at the cash secured puts, they're all out of the money with the exception of this Palantir cash secured puts at 1750. I sold 200 of these yesterday, and I made a video saying the Palantir community that's been talking shit and wanting to load the boat. I've just entered into a shitload of cash secure puts at 17.50 and 17 on purpose so I can drive the price of that damn stock down because it's overpriced.
Wait, so hold on. So
14 and 50.
you have 1.1 million collateralized until you
Go ahead.
You have 1.1 million basically you have to give to your brokerage, basically Robinhood, until the strike prices are either achieved or they expire for the puts, correct?
1.6, yeah.
And then you have another 1.1 in cash.
Yeah, it's on the side.
That's 2.7 in cash, right?
Effectively, yeah.
And then you have 1.5 in
1.6 is spoken for until I choose to close those positions.
Correct. Interesting. And then 1.5 is in Enphase.
So I see what's interesting here too is Riot. You have 1.5 million collateral. What is it? 1.05.
So that's my backstop trade. It's at $7 though. Let's keep it in context. They paid $322,000 to tie up that amount of money for that amount of time. And yeah, I was like, I feel like I'm going to win that trade because it's a break even's like $3 and some change or something ridiculous. And I was like, dude, you give me that amount of shares, I turn around and sell a damn covered call like $7 or $10, and I can write up all of those shares, 150,000, $3. Sign me up for that shit. So, dude, I make money where other people aren't. I fish where other people aren't willing to fish, and that's why I eat how others won't.
TJ, talk to me about Tesla. Why do you only have 2,000 shares, and when are you gonna?
I'm a pussy, bro. I don't know what I was thinking, dude. It's just
which tweet bothered you?
I'm so sure of, and I've just never been able to really commit. And
Carlos did a whole podcast with you to commit to Tesla.
I know, but dude, it comes down to the bull case and the bear case, and that's Elon Musk, dude. As much as I love him, he scares me a little bit, and I just don't want to get caught. Like, dude, I've come to this conclusion. I want to just go ahead and be on the record on one of the most popular podcasts on YouTube for finance. I would be more comfortable.
This is it, baby.
We made it.
More comfortable if Elon Musk were to step down and get me somebody else that's just all things Tesla. And
Carlos just mentally shot you right now.
Mic drop.
I would be more comfortable, to be honest. Because Tesla's just going to focus on Tesla shit. He ain't going to be fighting like a 12-year-old with Bob Iger and all this other shit.
Okay, hold on, though. TJ. You would openly admit you don't know as much about Tesla as like a guy like Carlos, right? Do you think you have the audacity?
I have the audacity
to call Elon to step down?
About 200 hours into Tesla.
Okay, so that's fine. Carlos spent 5-10 years doing this. Do you think you have the right to say that guy should step down, even though you
I have the right to say where I'm more comfortable having my money, right? This is my money, and I'm more comfortable putting it in that company that was just a CEO, even if he's a figurehead, bro.
By the way, guys, 2,000 shares is that $400,000 or $500,000?
Well, compared to his portfolio, it's not as much.
I'm just saying that's not a small position. I just
but TJ, my point is, you bet on Tesla because of Elon, and now you're saying get this guy out the door.
No, but everything goes through cycles, bro. It's like you're not the same guy today at 26, 27 that you were at 17, jerking off 2 times a day, like you said earlier in the pod.
It was actually 4
we go through a maturation. And what I'm saying is I just feel like as the brilliant and amazing, because I'm Team Elon, bro. I'm just not Team Elon for the head of Tesla anymore. I think give me a figurehead. You can do everything behind the scenes. Give me a figurehead so that you go talk shit and maybe it won't affect the stock so much. Is all I'm saying. Like, let Tesla go do Tesla things because you're doing a lot. You're doing SpaceX, you're doing Starlink, you're doing the robot, all this other shit that's obviously Tesla related. And then you're fighting on Twitter with everybody and you're turning into a company that you said you didn't want to be, because essentially he's starting to be like the other companies that he was talking shit about whenever he took over Twitter, in my mind. So I'm just like, I feel like, I don't know, dude. I feel like he's
Let's get Carlos's response. Carlos, what do you think? That's logical? What do you think?
No, I mean, but if for someone, look, I can see why you would say that. But you have to understand is that the effects on the stock price from what Elon does or says are intentionally done to create this feeling among people like you to pressure Elon to be different than how he is.
He's not going to do it.
Wait. I just want to finish this. I just want to finish this point. If you look at the company and how the company is performing and executing and how it's essentially destroying a bunch of other companies in several different industries, there is a roadmap here for this to be one of the most, if not the most valuable company in the world. A lot of people didn't agree with what Steve Jobs wanted to do with Apple when he came back. And he just said, I'm the boss. We're doing it my way. He pissed off a lot of people too, but he also made a lot of people stinking fucking rich. So much so that long after he's gone, it's still the most valuable company in the world, and they're still innovating, right? And they're still making money. And by and large, they've been able to avoid a lot of the pitfalls of other companies. Right. They've been able to grow in several areas where other companies have had to pay certain political prices in order to grow, and they're not. So I understand what you're saying, but if Wall Street tanks Tesla stock because of something Elon says, it's not because they care. It's specifically for that. It's not trading on fundamentals. It's not because of the fundamentals of the company. It's literally to teach Elon a lesson. And I think
but my argument is not even with him tanking the stock. What I'm saying is,
but that's the narrative when they say Elon's tanking the stock. Right. But the understanding is like, and I think we said this before, those repercussions are human caused repercussions, and they act like they're innate repercussions. Like if I jump off a building, gravity will pull me down and it will kill me. Right. They're not the same thing. If I say something that someone doesn't like and then they affect me, right? That's not the same thing as some physical consequence in the world. And I think what they try to do is they try to paint a narrative that the human caused consequences are physical consequences of something that he's doing. And it's specifically to enrage people like you. This is why I was upset at what Elon did with removing the app, because what he's trying to do is anger Tesla shareholders to put pressure on Disney to change what they're doing. And I don't think it works either way. You can't be a champion for free speech.
No, but the only thing I'm saying is I think Tesla, and you made this argument when you were on our whenever we did the All Things Tesla podcast on the channel.
Yeah.
Is I think Tesla is getting to a point where Tesla can be judged on its own merits, and it doesn't have to be directly linked to everything that Elon does. Or, he takes a shit, we're sniffing, see what he ate for dinner. Like we don't need
who's sniffing what he ate for dinner.
What I'm saying is
what is on your feed?
Tesla is
no, he's right. Dude, there's a lot of content creators that
Tesla can stand on its own 2 feet, is what I'm saying, and judge Tesla on Tesla's
I don't think it can. I think if Elon steps down, the whole hype around the stock goes away.
And I think the stock, I think as much as people say they want Elon
to
lead, I'll tell you right now, if he left Tesla tomorrow, that stock goes back down to $100.
And it's not coming back that quickly like it did last time.
It's like here's another thing
too.
Well,
wait. So let me add something on this point, TJ.
Would you buy it at 100 if he stepped down?
On, TJ.
I can dig it in.
TJ, on this point, I think you're slightly off because Elon is Tesla. I think we're trying to separate the two somehow. And even I understand that's why I keep all my shares, because if Elon did leave, I would actually be less bullish about Tesla itself.
Me too.
Elon is what drives change and massive technology boosts, and the one telling them, no, we got to make this other part change, this, fix that. He brought that culture to Tesla, and he's keeping it there. I don't know who can replace him at this point, but I think in around 2030, after they do have their 10 to 20 million cars per year, I think you're absolutely right. There's probably no reason for him to be there at that point, but I still think we have a long way to go to that point. It's a 5x from here, and then he can step away. But right now, he's driving all the change.
Well, Vitaly, did you see the interview with Ron Barron where he almost let it slip that Elon has already picked his successor?
Yeah, that was about 2 weeks ago.
Did you see that? No, it was more
that was his call, right? I mean, that was his quarterly or yearly meeting.
No, it was Ron Barron was doing an interview on CNBC, and he was talking about some of the, he owns, I think, 5% of Tesla. So he is privy to
5% of Tesla?
Dude, he for hundreds of millions, and he's got, I think, 5 or 6 billion worth of Tesla right now from a few hundred million that he invested. I forgot when it was, 2016. Anyway, he was on that interview, and they were talking about potential Elon successors, and you can see it. It's piece of the interview has been replayed several times. Can you see if you can find it, Amit? It's that the Chinese guy that he brought over from China.
Oh yeah. Well, we know that. Yeah. He did.
He almost let it slip that would be the guy, and then he kind of backtracked it and pretended like he misspoke. So it's not like Elon's not thinking about it. But I think to Vitaly's point, what we think of Tesla as a mature company, and I don't think Elon sees it that way. Tom Zhu. So I think, when Tesla is at the point that there are 20 million vehicles a year, a bunch of the other legacy auto have constricted, EVs are more than 50-60% of all the cars sold in the world. The bot is out and about. Solar is at 20% penetration. I think then Elon would feel like I have achieved the goals of the mission statement. And
So,
then from there,
let me ask you this.
I want to give
Why-
hold on. I want to give you a point why we need Elon. For example, if full self-driving eventually becomes real, it's only because Elon waited the 20 years for it to become real. Because any other company and CEO would basically say, "Guys, we spent 10 years doing this. This is not going to work. Okay, we have to move on. We got to try different things or find different ways to He's like, no. He's the guy saying no, and we're going to keep doing this for God knows how long, but it's going to happen at some point. So I don't think many CEOs would take over and say that this is a worthy investment.
Right. So another thing I'm showing y'all, this is the YouTube portfolio, and this is the weight of it. So this is what we call our Super 7. We've stolen 2 of the companies from the Magnificent 7, which is Tesla and Google, and everything else is stocks that I would rather own, just to be totally frank. And I'm a little pissed off at myself because I let some shares get called away on Meta, because I went pretty heavy on Meta at like 90, and I let them get called away. I actually closed them on purpose and sold them myself at 186, and I was like king shit in my mind, not realizing that Meta or Facebook was just getting started. You know what I mean? So now the only thing we're trying to do for 2024 is just balance the portfolio and take the money from the more speculative stocks. Even though like Riot's made us over 6 figures and we're thankful for that, we want to move those monies to the Teslas and the Google.
You doubled on Riot, or you tripled on Riot? What are you doing on Riot?
Yeah, so on Riot, so I'm gonna put here on total return, so you guys will just see on the share price appreciation. So we're up 167% on Riot, 48% on SOFI, down 3% on Enphase. So we're legit there on Enphase. We got 1,000 shares here, and we're just about even. And on this one, I got caught my hand in the cookie jar a little bit. I have covered calls for February at 115, but I'm not panicking because we still have quite a bit of extrinsic value. For those of y'all that don't know, the intrinsic value is how deep in the money you are. So you take the 115, subtract it from the 128, that's going to give you your intrinsic value. Then you take that coefficient, subtract it from the 2203, which is the options price. That gives you the extrinsic value. So
no one understood what the fuck that meant, but it sounded cool. So
as long as you have enough extrinsic value, time left on the clock, so to speak, on your side, and an option, there's not a very high chance that those shares are going to get called away from you prematurely. So I'm just letting time run off the clock as long as my extrinsic value is favorable for me. And because my next roll, I wanted to be north of 140, 150. That way I can sleep easy at night. Because right now with this particular position, I can't sleep easy because it's below my cost base.
So I want to point out one thing that's happening. We talked about this yesterday, that Enphase right now is in a precarious situation where if we don't hold the support that we broke through a little bit, if we're not going to hold it, then we're going back down to around 80, 90, who knows, somewhere around there. But if we break through, if we are breaking through right now and the bull trend continues, we're never going to revisit that again, in my opinion. So you might be losing some shares faster than you think if it starts to shoot off to the moon again.
No, dude, I'm determined to keep Enphase, bro. I'll roll this shit to January 2026 if I have to. Because when I say that I'm legit longest out, here's the thing, guys. One thing you got to do is you got to understand the strategy in its totality. When I say I'm longest stock, like, dude, I don't care what Tesla does, Elon. I don't give a shit if the robot turns on people. I don't care about any of that shit. I'm not selling Tesla before the year 2030 because I believe Tesla will be the most valuable company in history. And I want to be a part of that success, you know? So the only way to do that is you got to own fucking shares.
You just don't want Elon to be part of that success.
Dude, I don't care. I would prefer that.
That's crazy to say those two things. I know they're the most valuable company, but fuck Elon.
Just wait until they release the female bot.
What I'm saying is he's the bear case and the bull case.
I'm telling you, it's coming. There's going to be a female bot, and that shit is going to explode.
Okay, hold on. TJ, we got to talk about this. Because we talked about a lot of stuff. There is no Bitcoin or Ethereum. And like, why don't you have a lot of money? Why aren't you allocating to crypto?
Well, he has it in Riot, which is basically a proxy play for
good.
Bitcoin.
That's good.
No, it's a proxy play. If Bitcoin goes up, Riot goes up.
The reason that I chose the miners over
It's a gateway drug.
The reason that I chose the miners over Bitcoin, guys, is because I need to be able to generate premium, because those are artificial injections of cash. Because I don't have an unlimited supply of cash. Because I don't have another source of income, right? Like you guys make movies and do all kinds of fancy shit. You obviously do YouTube. No, seriously, this is my only source of income. So I have to leverage my portfolio so that it can compound. And
you know what you need? You need a Patreon like Chris has. That's what you need.
Bro, it's in my heart. It's in my heart to give it all away for free. That's what that God has called me to do. And I'm just going to always do that. And I just do, the world is full of takers and I want to be a giver. And I just feel like whenever you get to different levels of
Shit, did
success,
he just call Chris a taker?
I'm just saying, like, the mentorship that I get is the more you give, the more you get anyway. That's just a circle of the universe,
Well,
you know.
you know,
Like,
that's why we're here
you're
every day.
printing, like when you're printing almost 6 figures a month or whatever in premiums, like that's good money. You just got to be right, and sometimes you're wrong, sometimes you're right.
dude, I wanted to be known as the guy that actually made money doing what he was doing, and I just like talking about like these real estate people, and they're just selling seminars, books, and tapes and shit. Whereas like VITALY actually does this shit and makes money with it. That hits different, you know. It hits different when you have receipts showing that this is what I do for a living. And
so you will never have a long-term position in just Bitcoin because you can't trade options on it, essentially.
Because I can't collect premiums, and it just doesn't work for me. Now I do have a very small Bitcoin hodl because we're doing something really unique and special on the channel, but it's only $5,000 on the Bitcoin hodl. So that's a discussion for another day because I'm doing something really, really unique on the channel that we're working towards.
Guys, TJ's channel right now, I'm putting it in the description for those that have not followed. Please make sure.
Yeah, if you're not following him, you should follow him or subscribe to him on YouTube.
He's at 2.27K subs. If we can get 100 or 200 right now, that would be awesome. Please subscribe to him.
What's TJ's end game is to be in which country of the world? Thailand, Maui? Where do you want to be?
There's my Bitcoin hodl. We're actually proud of it, dude. And this one thing about Bitcoin that I don't like, dude, that's the Bitcoin. I don't know if it shows on there.
You're there. You're up.
Even that's up.
You follow me? No, what I don't like about it.
Up 6,500.
Let me tell you what I don't like about Bitcoin. When it runs like Enphase and Tesla, and it just never gives you enough of an opportunity to accumulate enough Bitcoin, dude.
You have years to accumulate.
No, but
where were you the last 3 years?
But what I'm saying, when you make, because I day traded Bitcoin for a year and a half, dude, from 2015 to mid 2016 and a half, whatever. And it was cool. It's fun, but it's 24/7, 365, bro. And at some point, I like when 3 o'clock comes around, Texas time, Central time, and I'm just like, I don't have to jack with this shit until the pre-market. You know what I mean? In Bitcoin, if you're like really in it, if you're trying to like trade it, if you're long-term, like you guys are hodlers, that's a little bit different.
I would never recommend that. I would never recommend that because of the fact that you go to bed and Australia fucks up your whole portfolio.
Yeah.
What do you think about PayPal? What's the moat on that? Why do you have PayPal? Do you think it's just undervalued?
It's just an intrinsic value calculation. A company that is making, a lot of money, has 500 million users or whatever the hell they have, and they can literally buy back the float in some like 5 to 10 years. I like my chances, whereas most of the companies I'm invested in, they're diluting the shit out of you. There's a company over here that's making money. Yeah, it's a little bit stuck between a value trap. It's no longer a serious growth play like it used to be because it's a more mature company. But it's still growing nonetheless, and it's buying back the float. I like my chances to be able to manufacture the win at these levels because I'm in the mid 50s.
I gotta say something about PayPal too. I've noticed. I mean, I've been on my social media. I don't know, but you guys buying stuff, especially around the holidays. Every single one of those vendors pushes you to PayPal.
Yeah.
Every single fucking one. Anything that you see when you're scrolling, you're like, oh, I want to just pick that up. It's a $30 here. I'm just like, everybody is sending me to PayPal. I was like, holy shit. It's just,
I don't know what you're talking about. I use Fed Now.
I don't even understand that whole Fed Now.
How personally delivers.
TJ, give me your updated thoughts on SoFi. How are you feeling? We ran up a lot, almost $10. How are you feeling?
I feel the way that I feel about Palantir. I think they're great companies in like 2025, 2026. I think they're legit overpriced right now. I'm glad that I've already accumulated enough shares to where I can enjoy these run-ups. I'll throw right in that same mix. These are companies that they're going to have to start growing into these valuations because at some point, if they don't grow into these valuations, Wall Street's going to punish them because the intelligent investor says at some point valuations matter.
I want to ask TJ the question that we talked the other day. What company would you put yourself in charge of as CEO? What company do you think your skill set would be great for you to be CEO?
Public company right now.
Man, it has to be something that I legit believe in first and foremost. It's
got to be something where the analogies could motivate the employees, right?
Yeah.
You give your talks as CEO.
I used to own a dating service in a previous life, so I would say Match.com.
Oh,
I think it's a recession.
Not the answer.
It is a recession-proof business, and no matter what the economy is doing, everybody wants to get laid and everybody wants to get paid. So I think that
You
everybody
need that on a t-shirt.
no matter what. Everybody wants to find what I have, dude. I struck the love lotto when my wife somehow saw something in me and we got married. So I think that everybody craves that, and then it's like the biblical.
Dude, what do you mean saw something in you? You have a personality that is incredibly attractive to women. That's
But
why
what I'm saying is, I just don't think it's a good idea for man to be alone. Like, I think it's innate in us. It's inherent in us. Like, you guys are all, well, you guys are married on this side, right? Vitaly and Carlos are happily married, and then you're seeking. Like, I feel like that's what we're always doing. If we're not happily married, we're seeking that someone to be happily married too. That's what I believe. So I think that I could get passionate about that message and deliver that message across the world and show them that, hey, if we're going to be able to evaluate these people, even run their credit, do their background checks, everything, there's a tendency to not lie to strangers when they're doing a compatibility profile, and we can match you up with someone that has similar likes, interests, etc. And then it's just a chemistry thing at that point, and boom, you never know, lightning could strike. And I think I could deliver that message because I delivered it before pretty successfully. And I believe in it. It's something that I believe in. I believe in love, dude. Like, ever since I met my wife, I feel like I can go out there and conquer the fucking world. Like, there's nothing that's going to stop me because I have that woman by my side. That's just how I feel. And that is the passion that I think that I could disseminate and spread throughout the company culture. And we're going to go out there and we're going to go get fucking people laid, baby. That's what we're going to do. A lot more screwing. Everybody's going to be happy. We're going to stop all this violence. Go home and cuddle and love your wife, dude. And I will sell that message, bro, for $19.95 a month.
That's the way to end the pod, folks. That's the way to end the pod.
Hey, whoever the CEO is of Match.com, you better watch out. I'm coming for your top, baby.
Vitaly, what were you saying, Vitaly?
I said, I think that's the same speech he gave at Grindr, the board meeting.
Oh, man. All right, that's it for us. I'm putting TJ's channel in the chat again. You guys gotta subscribe to him. This guy is absolutely awesome.
Oh my god.
And
he's much love, guys. We'll talk to y'all soon, man. Take care.
Thank you, TJ. Appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow, 9 p.m. Bye, everyone.